Yamunatira vanachari. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare. Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Radha Madhava. Shri Radha Madhava ki jai, Grantaraj Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Jai Nitai Gaur Premanande. पाठ हर शाम को होता है, सुबह भागवत, मॉर्निंग भागवत, but this is in English. Problem? Okay. Sometimes you do German also, but ich kann nicht so gut auf Deutsch sprechen. So das ist ein bisschen schwer für mich. 11:20? Sorry? 11:20? Yes, 11:20. Om Jnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye. Namo Brahmanya Devaya Go Brahmana Hitaya Cha Jagathitaya Krishnaya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Narang Chaiva Narottamam Deving Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudhirayet Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nashtiki. So we are reading from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 11, entitled The Universal Form, text number 20, which is on the screen. So please repeat after me. Dvav aprithyavyor idam antaram hi Dvav aprithivyor idam antaram hi vyaptam tvayaikena dishascha sarvaha vyaptam tvayaikena dishascha sarvaha दृष्ट्वा भूतं रूपम उग्रम तवेदम दृष्ट्वा भूतं रूपम उग्रम तवेदम लोकत्रयं प्रव्यहितं महात्मन् लोकत्रयं प्रव्यथितं महात्मन् द्याव अपृथिव्योरिदम् अनन्तरं हि व्याप्तं त्वयैकेन दिशश्च सर्वाः दृष्ट्वाद्भुतं रूपम् उग्रं तवेदम् लोकत्रयं प्रव्यहितं महात्मन् Let's chant. Difficult verse, right? Yes. Difficult words. Dyo, from outer space. Aprithivyoho, to the earth. Idam, this. Antaram, between. He, certainly. Vyaptam, pervaded. Tvaya, by you. Ekena, alone. Dishaha, directions. Cha, and. Sarvaha, all. Drishtva, by seeing. Adbhutam, wonderful. Rupam, form. Ugram, terrible. Tava, your. Idam, this. Loka, the planetary systems. Trayam, three. Pravyahitam, perturbed. Mahatman, O great soul. Oh, great one. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Although you are one, you spread throughout the sky and the planets and all space in between, and all space between. O great one, seeing this wondrous and terrible form, all the planetary systems are perturbed. Purport. Dyav aprithivyoho, the space between heaven and earth, and Lokatrayam, the three worlds, are significant words in this verse because it appears that not only did Arjun see this universal form of the Lord, but others in other planetary systems saw it also. Arjuna's seeing of the universal form was not a dream. All whom the Lord endowed with divine vision saw that universal form on the battlefield. Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langhayate girim yat kripatamaham mande shri gurundina tarinam. Jav aprithivyor idam anantaram hi vyaptam tvayai kena dishashcha sarvaha. Drishva bhutam rupam ugram tavedam lokatrayam pravyahitam mahatman. Although you are one, you are spread throughout the sky and the planets and all space between. O Great One, seeing this wondrous and terrible form, all the planetary systems are perturbed. So, the universal form, as I mentioned before, is telling us that the universe is not like what remains after an explosion, some rubble. And you put it together and then you press it and then you get the universe. That's a scientific idea. It is not like that. The universal form is a thriving organ, just like our body is an organ. Everything is cooperating. The blood veins flowing, there's prana going in and out. It's growing, it's multiplying itself. Like that, the universe is also like that. Though from our very tiny vision, it is not possible to comprehend it. From our tiny angle, we cannot even understand our own body. We need doctors, and then even doctors cannot understand this body. And this small body is a miniature form of the universe. The same principles which apply in our body also apply in the greater universe. But then we come in the field of science, and there is something called quantum physics, and there is called something classical physics. There are two types of physics here. Why I'm saying this? Because we have been trained to think in this way. Now, if we would explain it in the same way, it becomes understandable why things are so difficult. What you learned in school, in your high school and in your university, is generally called classical physics. It is like when you take a ball and you throw it. How does the ball arc through the sky? It's in a parabolic shape, right? And the ball falls. Now the ball falls into a water, and then you get ripples on the water. And everything is calculated. In school, you learn formulas. If you throw a ball at this force and this angle, it goes like this. And when it falls in the water in this angle, you get ripples. And there's a square formula, like that. And when you have a chain with some weight on it, and it goes like this, back and forth, a sling, the length of it, the time, it goes, everything is calculated. And that physics is called classical physics, right? The physics which we experience in this daily life is also called Newtonian physics. But then, around 1920, the scientists discovered an amazing other phenomena which could not be explained with classical physics. And that was that they discovered that gas light seen through a prism shows bars of light, not a smeared out spectrum that's like a rainbow colors. And they struggled to explain this, why it is like that. And they came up with the quantum theory. It is the theory, the mechanics, just like classical physics. It is the physics of very, very tiny particles, subparticles of atoms, electrons. And there, the set of rules are not like if you throw a ball, it arcs to the sky in a parabolic shape and it falls in the water, gets ripples. It does completely something else. If you throw an electron, no matter how much you concentrate, it can go anywhere. You can never be right where it goes, right? It doesn't listen to you. And guess what? You throw an electron here, there are many other electrons also going in different ways. They're very strange, And he came up, what is this? And yet, that small world is part of all reality, but it's invisible. That's called the theory of chance or probability. They call it like that, probability theory. So both are there, the gross, also the small world, and they interact with each other. And guess what? Our great scientists have not been able to explain how they interact. That would mean that nothing is really solid, nothing is really sure. Even in your world, the world of chairs, humans, opening the door, closing the door, it all seems to be so real. But if you go to the tiny particles, it is not real. Right? It's very strange. So they struggled a lot to explain this. But we have our Gita, we have our Bhagavad. We don't have a difficulty with that. Why is it? Because we understand that the gross world, or the world of Newtonian physics, is underlaid by a subtle world, what we call subtle world. It's a world of quantum mechanics, we call it the subtle world. And in the subtle world, we have learned from our scriptures that there are mystical powers, and that there are atoms, protons, neutrons, etc., electrons, which function on another principle. Yes, these principles are there, imbibed in the gross world, but they have become only visible when you get divine eyes, right? The Divya Chakshu, as mentioned in its universal form. Arjuna needed divine eyes to see. Yes, their divine eyes is a electron microscope. It takes 20 years to learn how to operate that thing, electron microscope. It's not very easy. Maybe now it's speeded up, but when they discovered it, because you have to have smaller particles than electrons to isolate an electron and to see this is an electron here. And when you zoom in or zoom out, electron in or out, And suppose you give one electron a red hat, a baseball hat, okay? And you zoom out, you find that that baseball hat is seen on many more electrons. How's that? These are phenomena seen. So it turns out that they've discovered that one particle can be at multiple places at the same time. But that's not what we see in this world. Rule is either here, or he's in his room, or he's in a kitchen. Most of the time he's in a kitchen. But he's not at the same places at the same time. But that would be nice, we need one rule to do everything, though he's doing it like that already. But in the electron world, it is like that. One particle can be at the multiple places at the same time. Plus, they can act not just like a copy. They can act individually. They cannot understand this. We don't have any difficulty with this. We know that in Kardama Muni, in the third canto of Bhagavatam, Devahuti wanted to have children. And Kardama Muni expanded himself into 9 forms and gave her 9 children. And all these forms were acting independently of each other. That yogis can manifest at multiple places at the same time. That in your consciousness, if you're trained, you can think of 2 places at the same time. You can connect things in your mind. This is all so-called unreal because it doesn't move matter. But actually, something is moved in the subtle world. And if you are tuned into, like some people can read thoughts, and especially the 6th sense, the mind, is more developed in ladies than in men, isn't it? They can read the language of the eyes. They can smell emotions. Men don't have that so much because we're not using it. But everyone has it. And with that sense, you can find connections. Oh, the person is thinking like this. When the eyes go like this, it means this. So it is all there. We just didn't learn how to read it, right? Classical physics and quantum physics work side by side. But because the gross materialists only know the gross matter, they have a lot of difficulty when it comes to subtle science, especially when yogic power is manifested to the scientific world, then they are silent. Just like some of the yogis, and they have experimented with this. He could slow down his heartbeat. An Indian yogi is brought, they're studying him, he allowed himself to be studied, and he slowed down his heartbeat. How is this possible? Well, people getting heart attacks here and they have problem breathing, and this person is stopping his breathing, is stopping his heartbeat. They say it's mind above matter. That's all they can say. It's basically what they're saying is quantum physics over gross physics, classical physics. So if you understand that they are seeing somehow or other with some big binocular or big amplifier, little particles, and they try to understand how it works, for us it's not so difficult. Because we understand that the gross matter is, is founded on subtle matter. And then you get into a realm which is even more subtle. The subtle realm is founded on spiritual, on the adhyatmic, on the realm of the Atman, right, which is pure consciousness. So consciousness is the original substratum upon which the subtle exists, the quantum exists, and upon which the gross is growing. You see, that's how it comes into being, because it was the Vasudeva, or it is Mahavishnu, who glances, who projects consciousness, and upon which then the jivas, they get their subtle body. Once the subtle body is made, then you get your gross body. And that is why, by the external physical features, you can understand somebody's personality, isn't it? How does that work? By seeing the shape of the eyes. If the eyes are like going up a little bit, you call it Kamala Nayana, lotus eyes. If the eyes pointed are straight from this part to the other part, it's called Matsya Nayana. And if the eyes at the outside are a little bit down and it's a little up, we call it Mriga Nayana, deer eyes. So Kamala Nayana is very characteristics for Srimati Radharani. And Srimati Radharani is, what is her nature? What is the nature of Srimati Radharani? Karunamai. That is with the devotees. How is she with Krishna? Fiery, sometimes. She is anger. She's so especially with Krishna. Only with Krishna she shows anger. With devotee she doesn't show anger. This is because of Kamala Nayana. When the eyes are a little bit pointed up, it creates a fiery nature. When they are horizontal, it gives you Matsya Nayana. And there is one form of Parvati known as Meenakshi. And she has a temple in South India, the most beautiful temple in the world actually, Meenakshi Amma. And her nature is, what is Parvati's nature? What is she famous for? Parvati is famous for motherhood, mamta, motherly affection. Her affection is so great that Vishnu, when she saw Parvati cuddling her little Kartikeya, he just felt the affection, amazing. And he said, Mother, give me a boon. What boon do you want, Vishnu? Said, Janani, I want to be your son. Okay, next yuga, you can become my son. And he became his son. Parvati was bathing and she put her chandan from her body like this. She threw it, it turned into her son. That was Krishna, Vishnu. And he became her Gana. You guard me because Shiva likes to tease me when I'm taking bath. I don't like that. You make sure nobody can enter. Oh, Shiva came. There was a fight between Parvati's Gana and Lord Shiva. And Parvati's Gana lost his head. Krishna lost his head. So it's another form of Krishna. It's not fully spiritual somehow or other. And the deal was made. He should be revived, and he got the head of an elephant. That became Ganesha. So Ganesha is known as Lambodar, one has a long belly, and Krishna is known as Damodar, whose belly is bound by ropes. But it's the same person. And therefore sometimes Ganesha's form and Krishna's form are worshipped side by side. Because there is a pastime, Vishnu wanted to have mother's affection. So if Vishnu is being impressed by Parvati's affection, that means she is one and all affection. That's Parvati. And then you have eyes which are Mriganayana. When the pointed are a little bit down here like this, you get Mriganayana, which is characteristic of Mother Sita. Okay? What is her nature? She ever shows man with Ram? She ever angry with Ram? No. She is that lady which modern day Indian girls don't want. We don't want to be Sitas. We don't want to be Radhas. Isn't it? When a Ramayana was cast, Ramanand Sagar's Ramayana serial was cast, there was a group of young ladies in India going on the street. We don't want to be Sitas. We don't want to be Sitas. What do you want to be then? Surpanakhas. You have to choose, some nature you have to choose. There is Sita and there is Surpi. And there is, Radha and there is, what's her name? She was in Mathura. Kubja. You have to choose something, right? So, of course, our present Prime Minister of Bharatadesha, he's making amazing. I was talking this morning, I realized that. He's taking a lot of women in the army. What is he up to? He's creating a Durga force. These are all Durgas. All Durgas and Chandis of India. And they're becoming a big force. So, Modi is not founding Ramaraja, he's founding Durga Raja. We don't find any problem with that. Fierce, very fierce army. All these natures, all these things are there in the universal form. Already said. In the West, people are still a little bit backward. Can women be in the army? Should it be good or that? But we have famous battles fought by Durga and Mahishasur. 9 days on a stretch. 2 times a year we worship during Navaratri that battle. Navaratri, 9 nights, in which she was fiercely fighting these demons. Because demons, when they fight, they don't take any etiquettes. It's not like Mahabharata, that you don't fight on the feet, you don't shoot on the back, you only fight from the front. And it is very shameful when Arjun is taking Shikhandi, who's half male, half female, he's not full male, and taking as a shield to shoot at Pitama Bhishma, the grandfather Bhishma, because Bhishma saw in Shikhandi that same Amba from Kashi. What happened, Bhishma, in his younger days, he needed a princess for Hastinapur. And the princesses of Kashi were famous for their training, etiquette. They were the best of the best princesses in all of Bharatvarsha. And at the time, Bharatvarsha was the whole world, right? It was the world seat, like nowadays America is. At the time, it was Hastinapur. Make a correction for morning's lecture. Hastinapur is not Delhi. Be that sure. Hastinapur is still there. Delhi is Indraprasth, which the Pandavas built. Okay? So sometimes we mix it up, but if you go to the Red Fort in Delhi, the foundation of the Red Fort was built by the Pandavas. It was part of Hastinapur's kingdom, If you can say also it's Hastinapur because they divided the kingdom. But technically, Delhi is Indraprasth, built by the Pandavas. And I have the opinion that Delhi should be renamed into Indraprasth. It'd be very nice. You get all that history, that great history comes back, and you identify with what you really are. So during that time, Bhishma, he needed three best princesses of the world, and Ambika and Ambalika were in his mind to bring all them. And he came to Kashi, to Banaras, and he just kidnapped them. Kshatriyas are like that, you know. They make their own rules. And you, if you make rules, you show that you're a protector. Stop me if you can. He walks in, you know, all the princesses of the world are there, all the big shots, and Bhishma walks in, you know. Okay, I'm going to take these princesses to Hastinapur. If you dare to stop me, stop me. Big fight. Kshatriyas like to fight. And Kshatriya means Kshata Trayatiti Kshatriya. He, one who protects from injury, he's a Kshatriya. Now, why do Kshatriyas like to fight? Of course, they like to show their skill. That's one thing. Just like the Olympic Games. The Olympic Games is a little bit a reflection, I'm not saying fully, but a little bit of a reflection of what Kshatriya is. The best of the world, they joined together. They lit a fire, the fire of sports sacrifice. And then they show who's the best. And the best, they get the gold medal. So Kshatriyas are like that. They like to fight. Because in order to go to their desired destiny of Swarga or even higher, there is a need for a fight. Because of Kshatriyas, they go to higher destinies by fighting. Brahmins don't do that like that. They go by tapasya, austerity, bhakti. Vaishyas, they go by donations. And Shudras by service. But Kshatriyas, Shauryam, Tejo, Dhritir Daksham, Yuddhe Chapi Apalayanam, Danam Ishra Bhavasya Kshatram Karma Svabhavajam. Shauryam, they show heroism. Tejo, power. Dhritir, very much fixed in a battle. When there is like a lion running at the Kshatriya, he just stands there. He doesn't run away, or he doesn't wet his dhoti or something. No, he's very fixed. Okay, lion is attacking. Then I have to fight in a certain way that I can win over a lion. Kshatriyas have been known to be trained like that. They would capture lions, and then he would go. The prince would then, or the general of the army, would face a lion. Now, a lion doesn't have a sword. A lion doesn't have a shield. So the etiquette for Kshatriyas is you should fight equal battle, right? So now, this first of all, how do you define a lion? What makes a lion a lion? Try. How do you define a lion? What is special about a lion? He's fearless, okay. Strength. But elephant is also strength. What makes a lion a lion? His mindset. What is his mindset?
That he's king.
He's king. Okay, great. When I was in a Gurukul, Maharaj used to give a very nice analogy, which always inspired me. He says, what makes a lion is not his fur or his claws. No, it says in the scriptures, a lion, when he is sleeping in his cave, and outside, when it starts to thunder and lightning is coming, and the earth starts shaking, all the animals are running here and there out of fear because of the thunder, then the lion wakes up, right? Because of the shaking, because of the lightning impact on the earth ground, he wakes up and he feels somebody's challenging me. So he comes out of the cave and he roars at the thunder, because thunder, if you clearly listen, it sounds like a lion, like that. So he finds some lion is there in this cloud and he's challenging me. He said, come out and fight with me. Though he sees it's a huge cloud and he's very small, he doesn't care. He wants to fight. Come out and fight with me. That is a lion. He's not like a tiger. The invaders, they had their names as Sher Khan. But the Kshatriyas always took the title Singh, lion. No hiding, no seeking. When everyone is afraid and running out here and there, the lion comes out and to challenge who is trying to disturb my sleep. That is a lion, you see. That's a lion. So yes, therefore he's the king of the animals. So Kshatriyas have the spirit to be a lion, and as I said, they like to have a competition spirit. And for them to go back to Godhead, Sauryam, Tejo, Dhritir, Daksham, fearless. If you face a lion who's really angry, it's horrible. Our hair starts on end. You start to shiver out of fear. And then he jumps. When he starts jumping, you have to know what to do. Not that you have learned all of the things in theory or in 3D or in your mobile, and now the lion comes, then, oh, you run away. Failed for your exam. No, you have to be right there. And because the lion doesn't have any weapons, no sword, no cannon, no guns, it is etiquette. You have to fight along with him. The Kshatriyas don't have any weapons except for a little knife. That's all. Because he has, a claw. Killing a lion with a sword is not very high class. That's low class. Because, anybody can kill a lion with this. Any Kshatriya can kill a lion with a sword. We wouldn't even be able to handle the sword. Some of these swords which the Kshatriyas used were like 25 kg. Try to lift one bag of rice, 25 kg. And they were fighting with it, right? They were fighting. Maharana Pratap Singh, the famous king of Rajasthan, his sword was about 20-25 kg. And when he would slash with that sword, anything would split in two. Horse and soldier in one stroke. So these are Kshatriyas. In order to protect, you have to be powerful and fearless. Shauryam Tejo Dhritir Daksham. Expert. Kshatriyas like to show their expertise. And you find also when a Kshatriya fights with another, it is obvious. They are not enemies. They are just fighting because the kings have enmity. If the soldiers would meet outside the battlefield, they would say, who are you? What is your name? Ah, you have a family? Yes. How many people do you have in your family? I have 2 daughters, I have a sister, I have a mother. They would meet like that, Kshatriyas. But because they're on a battlefield, they're bound to kill each other, either you or me. So, but there is no enmity behind. We don't even know each other. Why should there be any enmity? So, therefore, they enjoy each other's skill. Oh, that was a very good, let me try also. And they fight. And Kshatriyas, they write poetry. One devotee from Brazil was telling me, he has been a long time in the Armada. Armada is the Spanish word for army. And he said that, there are some of these boys in the army, they also write poetry. You know what the poetry is like? It's like when your swords, when your weapons are shining in the sun, and the swords, they clash, and the horses are jumping up and making this hin-hinai sound. Eee! And the swords are slashing, and there is so much sound and fight, and blood is flowing. That is inspiring for a Kshatriya. That is life. That is like for a common person, a marriage, When a marriage is there, then you have the bride completely dressed in sola sringar, 16 type of ornaments. And she's very beautiful, most beautiful day of her life. And he's there in his beautiful turban and nice sherwani and beautiful little shoes pointed, and maybe he has a little bit mustache also. In Rajasthan, they have mustaches, They are like beauty for men. And they go for marriage. It's the most beautiful day. And in the past, they would extend that one day into 2 weeks. Marriage would last for 2 weeks. Extensive rituals would do. Now, because of Kali Yuga, there's no money, so they shorten it to 4 days. And my eldest brother got married in, I think 4 days it took. And nowadays it's only 2 hours, finished. And in the Western world, it's only a ring and a kiss and a signature, we are married, finished. Not even 2 hours. But just like your marriage day is supposed to be your most beautiful day, for a Kshatriya to be on a battlefield and showing his skill left and right, fighting with 2 swords, like that. Shield on the back also, because during the Mughal time, they started to shoot on the back. So then they started wearing shields on their back also. Otherwise, during Mahabharata period, nobody wears a shield on their back, because nobody attacks from the back, because it's not heroic. So that's the point. Sauryam tejo dhrite daksham yuddhe chapi apalayanam. You can never show your back on the battlefield. Yuddhe chapi apalayanam. Palayanam means to run away. This is a Kshatriya. Plus, danam ishvara bhavascha. He's a great donator. He donates. Anybody begs, he can never say no. Right? Danam ishvara bhavascha. He has the mood of a controller. Kshatram karma swabhavajam. A protector. An attitude of protection. Kshatram karma swabhavajam. That is in his nature. He has his inborn nature. He's born with these qualities. Like that. That is a Kshatriya. Now, we're discussing here the universal form. And we know that among the three, Brahma, Vishnu, and Mahesh, the Trinity, Lord Vishnu is the protector. And therefore, most of the time when Vishnu comes, he comes as a Kshatriya. He comes as Matsya Avatar to protect. What does he protect as Matsya Avatar? Anybody knows? Sorry? Yes, he protected Swambhumanu. But what else did he do? What is he famous for? Every avatar has a certain function. Matsya Avatar came to protect the Vedas. Yes, he also protected Swambhumanu. He took all the species in his boat. But while he was pulling the boat in the ocean of devastation, he was reciting Veda. Right? He was reciting Veda and teaching Swambhumanu. So Matsya is a Veda protector, protector of the Vedic literature. Then you have Kurma, the next avatar. What did he do? He didn't look like a Kshatriya actually. Supporting, yes. Very good. I know you have a little difficulty with English. He's supporting Mount Meru. Not Mount Meru, Mandara mountain. Yeah, Mandara mountain, which was used as a churning of the ocean. Now, the churning of the milk ocean is a very interesting episode. Many lessons are learned from that. Is that society is always trying to churn out nectar to live eternally in this society, isn't it? Everybody goes for work, churning 8 hours a day to get some salary out. They're churning 40 hours a week to get a weekly salary. They're churning so many hours a month to get their monthly salary, right? But along with the churning, there's so much endeavor, there is sweat. There's so much sweat, and there's so much pain, and there's also so much halal poison. Those who work, they have to swallow a lot of halal poison because your fellows, you think you are the devata, then they are the demons. Then as you churn to get your amrit, they want to take part of your amrit also. He's getting a promotion. Why did I not get it? And then your boss has to explain, why you're better. But he doesn't want to take it that you are better. That you got a promotion and he not. There is some poison there. And you have to give something to others also. You have to churn, but you cannot get 100% because you have to pay tax. You have to pay tax. There is some poison there also. And along with all this drama in the world, churning out, trying to live eternally, buying nice creams to look beautiful and having scents and good clothing, all these things, you have to churn the material world to get all of that. But there's so much poison also. And then there is a person who has to swallow all that. Very terrible. These welfare workers, the devotees have to swallow all that, to cleanse all that. They're all little Shivas. We're all little Shivas. We are here to purify the world, and we have to drink all this, swallow all this poison, right? And then sometimes while you're churning, helplessly, you lose your job. Helplessly, this Mandara mountain was drowning in the ocean. And what to do? My income is stopped. You feel like, the whole endeavor to churn the ocean to get Amrit is finished. Then all of a sudden, you pray to Lord, and he manifests as Kurma Avatar. He's lifting again the mountain on his back. And very funny, that Kurma, that tortoise, he had itch on his back. So while the churning was going on, his itch was being relieved. That is Vishnu. Making the best use of a bad bargain. That's also a lesson we learned from this churning of the milk ocean. And then this halal poison come, and all these poisonous beings, snakes, reptiles, scorpions, everything which has stings and which has poison, took a little bit from that halal, because Lord Shiva, he was drinking. And even Lord Shiva gives Mahaprasad. And that Mahaprasad was the poison. He dropped a few drops on the ground. Like that. So that's the milk ocean. It is samsara. Samsara is like that. But he came to protect the whole endeavor. So therefore, if you want to have your business, have a safekeeping, you can ask Kurma Avatar to support your business. Yes, he's supporter. He's the Adhara Shakti. Without a foundation, nothing can stand on its own. Right? It says that Ananta Sesha is a support of Lord Vishnu. But you know that below Anantasesha there is another avatar supporting Anantasesha? You know that? It's Kurma avatar. Kurma avatar is lifting Anantasesha, and on top of Anantasesha, Vishnu is lying. And therefore in the pujas we worship three all of them. Anantaya, Buddha avatar, Om Adhara Shaktiye Namaha, Om Kurmaya Namaha, Om Anantaya Namaha. And then we establish the asana and we start doing our sacrifices. So he's the Adhara Shakti, the power to sustain, the power to lift, the power to carry. It's Kshatriya, it's a form of Kshatriyism, protecting. Just like the PM of India wants to make a kshetra, a field that because many youngsters, they leave India because the earning outside is better than in India. But what if the kshetra in India would be as good or better than in the foreign countries? Then there's no need to leave India, right? So the Prime Minister had then thought of, okay, we're going to create a kshetra, a kurma for you, that you don't have to leave Bharatadesha. You can also earn your wealth here. So we can learn from all these avatars something. Matsya Kurma, then Varaha. What is the purpose of Varaha? What Varaha means? The hog avatar, the pig avatar. Even from a pig we can learn something. He protected the earth. How? From destruction. Okay. But why he took a hog form? Why not a beautiful form? Why a pig form? Yes, never thought of it, right? Prabhupada mentions that to dig up from the mud, from the stinky mud something. You know how a lotus grows? Lotus flower? A lotus flower grows in a little pool with clay and mud, especially if you put cow dung there. It smells like anything. But you put a lotus seed there, it will thrive like anything. And it requires a lot of water on top. The lotus will grow through the water, and it will not touch the water anymore. It blooms out, right? Like that. But it's growing from panka. Panka is a mixture of mud, cow dung, and things like that. I've seen it in Mayapur. So it's quite interesting that, and now if the earth has sunken into that mud, you need a hog to do the thing. Hogs like to go in the stinky mud. Or like in India, have stool-eating hogs, vidvaraha. It's amazing. I've seen it that, little kids, they do their thing, then a hog comes and he just eats it. It's natural for them, right? So now Vishnu taking up that form, it's not that he's equal to an ordinary hog. No, he has to uplift the entire universe, or entire earth, So therefore he needs that form. The tool is, you need a snout, and you need two pointed teeth, like that. So that is Varaha. Again, he's protecting the earth, the Adhara Shakti. If the earth is underwater, no species can survive. So you have to uplift the earth, and then humanity can grow again on it. Why did the earth actually fell into the ocean, in the Garbhodaka ocean? Anybody knows why the earth fell? Hiranyaksha wanted to kill, and therefore the ocean fell. He fell in the ocean, the earth. Yes. Prabhupada warns here is that all this mining of oil and gold from the soil, there is a reason why there is so much gold in the soil in certain places. There are certain places there is more oil, there is more water and more land, like that. It creates a balance of the earth. If you take out all that oil from Arabia, right, and you don't put anything else in that hole, it will give a difference in balance. And the earth's axle will tilt, which is already happening, you see. And because of this, Hiranyaksha was after gold, all the gold he wanted to steal from the earth. So the earth was out of balance, out of its structure. And therefore it lost its gravity and fell into the Garbhodaka ocean. So you have to be very careful. As greedy people are, it can create an earth is out of balance, which is already happening a lot with the heating up of the atmosphere, places where there is never has been any ice melting, all of the ices are melting, ice tops are melting, South Antarctica. They are speculating maybe Antarctica will become green again. If that becomes green again, India will be desert. Europe might also turn into desert if Antarctica has to become green. All the rivers will flow there again, and it will uplift. But that's because we are the cause of it. There is no need for fossil fuel. There is no need for these cars. You can make cars powered on water, or even on solar panels you can drive car. Why don't people do that? greed, right? And it will turn into Hiranyakshas, by which the earth will fall out of its balance. And then, what will you do then? All your greed will go with you. You cannot survive on the planet. So that's Hiranyaksha and Varahadev are a great lesson for humanity. Again, protecting the earth. Vishnu is always protecting. Varaha, then you have Narsingha. Narsingha we all know, right? Narsingha Avatar is known. Recently, they made a beautiful movie, I heard on it, with a lot of special effects. Made by a devotee, by the way. Narsingha Avatar. I haven't seen it, but I'm sure when I go to Holland, they will say, Prabhu, come, we'll show you. So, Narsingha Avatar is directly the protector of bhakti. And especially Prabhupada liked him very much. He quoted Prahlad very much. And also how Nrsimhadev, he exploded out of a pillar. So it's like fear to the atheists that they try to support their beautiful pillars, their palaces with beautiful pillars. What if in one of these pillars Nrsimhadev is there? What will you do? It says like in the other Puranas, when Hiranyakashipu told Prahlad, you said always that there is somebody higher than me. And you said he's all pervading. Who is that person? Is he also in this pillar? And the Prahlad looked at the pillar and he saw Nrsimhadev saying that. He said yes, he was blinking his eye. See, yes, I'm there. Yes, he's also there. And then Hiranyakashipu attacked that pillar. And yes, Nrsimhadev came out. Protecting bhakti, right? That's the avatar of Nrsimhadev. And in our ISKCON, we are protecting ourselves with that forceful form. It is the most angry form of Vishnu. When Vishnu turns, if he's really angry, he takes the form of a lion. Singha. He becomes the original Singha. Otherwise, there's so many Singhas, in India. Like Kshatris have these titles, right? Bhupal Singh. So you can say Balaram Singh, Krishna Singh, Rukmi Singh, Jarasan Singh, Shishupal Singh. These are all the kings of the Mahabharata, These are the Singhs of those times. But the original Singh is Narsingha. And he shows how to attack. He only has claws, and his hairs he has. And it depicts that when his manes, the hairs of this lion is waving, it's like flames are coming out. Even his tongue is like a weapon, So on devotee Drida, he's an artist. I know he's from America. He's a great artist. And he said, in order to make a good painting, he was studying all the details of Nrsimha Avatar. And he realized even the tongue is a sword of Nrsimhadev. His garjana, his roaring, it shakes the earth, right? But guess, Hiranyakashipu was not afraid. Though he was shaking his body, he still took his sword and his shield and he attacked Nrsimhadev. So he's also not a small guy, Like that, Nrsimhadev. What's it called, Varahan Singha? Then you have little Vamana. Completely the opposite, Vamana. Vamana avatar is Krishna as a dwarf. Beautiful little boy. 5 years old. He just got initiated. He got his deer skin, a little small feet, and he heard, oh, Bali Maharaj is doing the Ashwamedha Yajna. He almost completed 100. So he can throw Indra out and take the seat of Indra. Okay, so the devatas were praying for, please do something. Yeah, what could Vishnu do? He couldn't fight with Bali because Bali is a devotee. Right? How do you fight with your devotees? It's not possible. Plus, he's doing something dharmic. He's doing Ashwamedha Yajna. What to do? Nothing is left except for cheating. So he had to cheat. And he came as a little boy, saying, Maharaj, and Bali was already charmed by his appearance, so beautiful. A little chatra, a little umbrella he had, and he was walking naked feet on this soil. So like everywhere he stepped was like flowers are coming out. And he looked at him, so charming, with a beautiful Vaishnava tilak, a little chubby belly, and he had this deer skin and a brahmachari belt he had, and he was smiling. Said, I came to beg something from you. Yes, tell me what you want. Shukra didn't like it. Bali, come with me here. Come in the how you call that? In the parliament. I will talk to you first. This is not a small boy. He's Vishnu. Vishnu has a universal form. Did you read 11th chapter of Bhagavad Gita? What he can do? He will steal your whole kingdom and you'll be left alone. And if you don't have any money, how will you do dharmic activities? How will you maintain my belly? You should not do this. And I tell you, you already promised him, but still, for the sake of maintenance, you can still lie. There are different reasons why you can lie. And Shukracharya says, this is Shukraniti. When you want to make a girl happy in order to marry her, you can lie. When you want to maintain your maintenance, you can lie. If you want to maintain your land, practically you can lie. Look in the world. Everyone is following Shukracharya's advice, right? Shukracharya says like this, so go to him if you have any complaints. So then he says that, my dear Guruji, if he's really Vishnu, then I'm even more blessed. You see, you told me that I should maintain my prestige. Yes, okay, I should maintain my prestige. My grandfather, Prahlad, he was known for his truth and his offering everything to Vishnu. So I should maintain my prestige. I will do the same thing. I will offer myself to Vishnu. You rascal! You disobeyed me. I curse you that you lose everything. And Bali still went. He rejected his guru. Said, my dear boy, what do you want? 3 pieces of land. 3 pieces of land. Look how little feet you have. So small. And you might have only 3 steps. I can give you 3 planets. I give you a whole planet. Yeah, no, I only need 3 pieces of land to build one yagyashala where I do sacrifices. And if you cannot be satisfied with 3 pieces of land, you can also not be satisfied with the 3 Trilokya, with the 3 planetary systems. So therefore, controlling the senses is very important. So you can imagine a little boy telling you, controlling the senses is very important. And it's very charming. People like little kids to talk philosophy, right? So, okay, as you wish. So he took his kamandalu, water, to give the, nowadays we sign with a pen, right? A contract. In Vedic times, you should put water on your palm, and it has to flow from this point. And when the water falls, then Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh accept it. It's signed. Contract is done. So as Bali was trying to, no water was coming from the kamandalu, but it was full. But from the sprout, nothing came out. So Vamana laughed at it. Said, I know what this is the cause. Give me one straw. He took a straw and he pierced in a hole. What happened? Shukracharya, by his mystic power, he sat into that sprout that no water could come out. So then no sankalpa was given, so the promise would be failed. So that straw entered in one of the eyes of Shukracharya. He became blinded. So therefore, if you want to appease Lord, the Lord of the planet of Venus, Shukra, you do that by appeasing a Brahmin with one eye. It's there in Jyotish Shastra. If your Venus is improperly situated, then you become infertile, or have all kinds of desires, and it doesn't come true. You become unhappy. These kind of things come out. So then you have to appease the planet Venus. How do you do that? You find the Brahmin with one eye. And you please him, because that's Shukracharya. When he's pleased, then your Venus will be calmed, like that. So Shukracharya disappeared with his one eye from the sprout, and water came out. And then the blessing or the promise was given. And he got his 3 pieces of land. And now everyone knows what happens after he gets 3 spaces of land. He takes the 3 universes only 2 steps. Wanting to show the greatness of Bali, he does everything in one activity. So with one step, he conquered. How you get this picture from?
It was but the entrance.
I see. This is Rajapur Jagannath in Mayapur. These are one of the most reciprocative deities we have in ISKCON. They speak, they come in dreams, they chastise, they slap you, everything they do, especially that Balaram. I'm just inspired to speak something on Balaram now. I know I have to speak on this, but I served there during the festivals. I was in the temple of Jagannath, and many stories are there. This Balaram, he doesn't look very happy, right? Look at his face. He looks very stern. He is like that.
Yes.
What happened? The pujari was telling me that he was doing arti, and in the evening he closed the puja, and they have a guard there. You have to guard during the night. And one time he was walking in the evening after the puja, and the guard came like, oh. So what happened to you? He said, I needed to pass water, so I went to one corner of the temple and started to do. And Balaram came and he slashed me, bang! Rascal, this is not place to urinate. I physically came, pain, and Balaram had hit him. That Balaram. It's good for them. Yes, he hits. He slaps also, you know. And there was another one. These are real stories. It's not made up. Most recent I heard before I left Mayapur, that was in 2009. The pujaris told that one ring was missing of Jagannath. One ring was missing. And they were looking for it. Where did you drop it? And they couldn't find it. The whole pujari department was helplessly looking for that ring. Till, all of a sudden, they found it in a dhaba. A dhaba is a tea house in India, just like a small hut. And people come to sit and drink tea or Coca-Cola and chips like that. So, how did you get this ring here? Then the dhabawala, that you can say cafe master, he said, 3 people came here and they had a very royal outlook. There was a lady and 2 men. And they sat and they said, give us something to eat. So what do you want to eat? Coca-Cola and potato chips. I'm not making up. You can read this. There is a book on this also. So he gave, Coca-Cola is available in India very easily and Lay's chips is available. And they were eating and drinking. So after I told them, now you have to pay. Pay? We don't pay. Go to the temple, get your payment there. No. You have eaten, you have to pay. So I said that the dark one among the 3, he took out his ring and he gave it to me as payment. That's how I got the ring. So I'm not sure if they're offering chips and Coca-Cola to this Jagannath.
Does it mean that they like it when
You see, it might look like Coca-Cola, but it might even go like this, and it's still Coca-Cola, but when it enters the mouth, it might turn into something else. Like Mohini Murti, he was feeding the Amrit to the Devatas and wine to the Asuras. And when he eats chips, it might look like Lay's chips, but it turns into something else when he eats it. So we should not imitate, because we have, anyway, that's the Jagannath here. We're discussing Vamana, right? Also a Kshatriya. A little Kshatriya, little boy can even conquer the entire universe. That's what you can learn from Vamana. If you train your child like being a Vamana, he can conquer the entire universe for you by bhakti. And then the 3rd step was lacking. So, Bali, you promised me 3 steps, right? In 2 steps, I've conquered the entire universe already. Where put my 3rd step? So I put it on my head. I surrender to you. I have no more. I already lost everything, so take me also. And he was very pleased. Though he chastised Bali by binding him with ropes of Vasuki and the snakes like that, he was humiliated. He was the emperor of the world, of the universe actually. He wanted to occupy Indra's seat, but he was humiliated. He was a beggar. So what do you say now? And he was put into court. Bali was put into court. He was tied up and put to court. Then what happened? Because of his devotion, who became his advocate? Who pleaded for Bali? Anybody knows? Advocate. Somebody came as an advocate for Bali. No, Anwar's not part of the story. Who became the advocate to plead for Bali? It was a very great advocate. He had 4 heads. Brahma appeared. Brahma came and said, "My dear Vamana, I understand you're a little bit angry. But then you say in the Gita, Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam, Yome Bhaktya Prayachati, Tadam Bhakti Upaharitam Asnami Prayatatmana." Even by offering a little bit of water, a little leaf, I'm pleased. Didn't Bali give you the 3 worlds? Then why do you punish him? Didn't he become enough punished? Oh, yeah, you're right. Release him. Brahma came to plead, you see, for Bali Maharaj. I said, okay, you have surrendered to me, then I surrender unto you. You gave the 3 worlds to me just to have my lotus feet. Okay, I give myself to you. I become your doorkeeper, right? I will protect you. And you can go now to reside in Rasatala or Sutala and enjoy there, because the enjoyment is there greater than in Indra's palace. And next mantra, you come to Indra. Is that okay? In this way, Vamana, he rewarded Bali Maharaj for his devotion. The next avatar is a very fierce one. You have Parshuram. Parshuram. Do you know who? Everyone has an Ishtadev also. Like Ramachandra, he worships as an Ishtadev, Lord Shiva. He's very fond of Shiva, Ramachandra. Krishna has also an Ishtadeva. Who's that? Sorry? That's from yesterday, right? But that's intimate. Like he worships her in his heart. But in his palace, who's he worshipping? In Nandagaon, Yashoda's temple. Who was there in the temple of Yashoda? It's right there in the Krishna book. In Yashoda's temple, where Krishna is running around, which deity is established there? Narayan. Krishna is a Sri Vaishnava. You see, Narayan is being worshipped. Mother Yashoda, she also worships Narayan. And when he saw, Gargacharya said also, your son will be equal in power to Narayan. Right? So he thought, okay, maybe he might be some demigod, very powerful. But Krishna, therefore somebody asked me that, why is Krishna wearing this Vaishnava tilak? Right? We have to wear, and you understand, why he? I thought, well, because he's a Sri Vaishnava. Sri Vaishnavas are a South Indian branch.
I was asking myself why he's wearing this red, why actually Sri Vaishnavas are wearing this, and on some pictures we can see that he has this red.
Yes. Well, every artist makes it according to his own taste. All the Gaudiya artists give him Gaudiya tilak. But Sri Vaishnava is a very ancient sampradaya, especially in South India, by Ramanujacharya, originating from Lakshmi Devi. That was called Sri Sampradaya. It is actually the school of Lakshmi Devi herself. And these Vaishnavas, they worship specifically Lakshmi Narayan as their Ishtadeva, and they like very much Rama. And when it comes to not understanding something is stolen, then it must be Govinda. That is Govinda. When it is Maryada, then it is Ram. They like Ram very much. So Prabhupada also liked them very much because all the Yajna Vidhi, partly also deity worship, but mostly of the Yajnas we do is taken from that school. Because Mahaprabhu, when he traveled South India, he attracted Gopal Bhatta. He was from one of the Sri Vaishnavas from South India, and he wanted to become initiated by Mahaprabhu. And he established all these, the Yajna Vidhi, which we're practicing in ISKCON, the fire sacrifice, the mantras, the rituals. These are from Satkirsa Deepika by Gopala Bhatta Goswami, who's one of the 6 Goswamis and a disciple of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So we're closely linked to them. Actually, Hyderabad temple was established, the deities there were established by Sri Vaishnavas. And in the same trend, in the same line, we have in Tirupati, we have now Radha Govinda and Ashta Sakhi. These were installed by Sri Vaishnavas. They took all the mantras and the rituals because Tirupati, the richest temple of India, is run by the Sri Vaishnavas, like that. And they're very sattvic, because they're like Maryada, like in the Ram's line. So everything must be, extremely perfect. They don't have any loopholes. Gaudiyas have mainly bhava, strong attachment, and therefore the rules and regulations are a little less. But if it comes to doing really like amazing performances of yajnas, I was in Mayapur studying, and Jani Nivas was telling me that there was one boy in the Gurukul who was very strict, and he wanted to do everything in detail according to the scripture to see what is the effect. And once they did a yajna, exactly according to every detail was according to scripture. And when they did the Puranahuti, the completion of the sacrifice, a big smoke came, and everyone could see a face appeared with a kumbha in the smoke during the Puranahuti. So if you do according to scripture, you can get even God out of the fire. Like Ramachandra and Lakshmana and Bharat, they appeared because of the fire sacrifice. It came in the form of a kumbha with sweet rice, but the 4 queens ate it, and Vishnu was born out of that. So that's the power of sacrifice. If you can do it, will work for the next 10,000 years, because we are in a Yuga Sandhi, a overlapping period between Dwapara and Kali Yuga. And during Sandhis, all processes work. Meditation works, Yajna works, deity worship also works, and Harinam Sankirtan also works. And therefore sometimes devotees wonder, If the process is Harinam Sankirtan, why do the other things also work? Why do we worship deities? Why do we do sacrifices? You just wait. After 10,000 years, nothing will work. Only Harinam will work. Because we're still in the beginning period, the Sandhi, the twilight period of the yugas, like that. So that is there. Then you have Parshuram. Parshuram also has a temple. He worships also. Who is the Ishtadeva of Parshuram? You would never expect this. The most fiercest of the Kshatriyas, next to Nrsimhadev, is Parshuram. You don't mess with him. No politicians can mess with Parshuram. But who is he worshipping? No, it's not. Yeah, Shiva is his guru actually, but not his Ishtadeva. He's his guru, you're right. He learned the art of warfare, he got the benediction, nobody can defeat him. Shiva benedicted him, nobody will defeat you, no Kshatriya can defeat you. Well, it's not that he didn't like it, he didn't like the Kshatriyas to kill his father, Jamadagni. Kshatriya is not allowed to kill Brahmins, right? And Jamadagni was a very precise, very pure and strict Brahmin, his father. And he was killed mercilessly by this Kartaviri Arjun. That's how it all started. But Parshuram's, in his temple, you find Vamadeva, that's his Ishtadev. Parshuram worships Vamana. Amazing. Inside, he's very soft somehow or other, Parshuram. But he was defeated. He was defeated by Kansa also. The Garga Samhita mentions that Parshuram fought with Kansa and he got defeated. So I asked him, how is it possible? Who are you? He said, I'm not a human. Danosmi. I'm a Danava. Because he got the benediction to not be defeated by Kshatriyas, and Kshatriyas are humans. Danavas are not humans. So Danava kings could defeat Parshuram. Bhishma also defeated Parshuram because he was ordered. Bhishma also. And Bhishma is also like, he's not a real human, son of Ganga. So Ganga is she's not human. She's a Devi. Same with the Pandavas. Like that. So Parshuram got defeated here and there, but they were all superhumans. Kansa also. Parshuram wanted to kill Kansa, but then Lord Shiva came and he said that, listen, I give him a benediction. Only Krishna can kill him, so you please respect my boon. And then, okay, Parshuram let him go. So go from here. They also say in Vrindavan, some Agrasen, not Ugrasen, but Agrasen defeated him. He was a Vaishya king. He had his own army. And when he fought Parshuram, he defeated Parshuram. Who are you? He said, I'm not a Kshatriya, I'm a Vaishya. So in this way, Parshuram, here and there he got a little bit defeated. That is Parshuram. He is protecting Kshatriya dharma, the way Kshatriya is supposed to rule. And if they don't follow the rules, then he comes and he shows his axe, his Parsha axe. He doesn't fight Malechas, he doesn't fight Vaishyas, he doesn't fight Brahmins, only Kshatriyas. That was his vow. And therefore, he got defeated by others because it was not included in the vow. But anyway, he's still alive. Parshuram is Chiranjeevi. He's still there on Mahindra Parvat. He's meditating. Just like Hanuman is still alive, Vyas is also still alive, Ashwathama is still alive, Markandeya Rishi is still alive, Vyasdev is still alive. They're all still there on the planet, right? Looking at us on this planet, right? But you have the eyes to see. You need divine eyes to see the universal form. You need divine eyes to see them also. And then, if you want to shake hands, I don't know. Why would you go there? Madhvacharya actually went to Vyasdev in the cave in the Badrikashram. He met him and he showed his commentary. And Vyasa is very nice. And that's why they take in the Tattvavad Sampradaya, Madhvacharya commentary as bona fide. But he could enter in those difficult to access caves where Vyasa was residing because he's Vayu. If he makes one leap, he can travel 100 kilometers, just one jump like Hanuman. So that's Madhvacharya. And therefore in our Gita, you find in the line of the Acharyas, you find Vyasa and you find Madhva. But Vyasa was, Treta, Dwapara Yuga, and Madhvacharya was like 1,000 years ago. How is the link here? He directly went to Vyasdev. So the link is unbroken then in that sense. So that's Parshuram. And then you have Balaram. Of course, you know Balaram, he's a protector, Kshatriya. Then you have Krishna, he's not actually one of the avatars, he's the origin. Keshavadhrita, what's that? Haladhara Rupa. And then the last one will be Kalki avatar, also again a Kshatriya form. And he will be on a white horse. He will not fight Kshatriyas. Who are the opponents of Kalki? Anybody knows? Papi. How is Jayadev Goswami portraying them? Demons. Mlechani vahani dhane karayasi karavalam dhumaketum ivakim api karalam. Malechas. So they are humans, but very dirty people. Malecha is a common term in Bharatadesh, it's an old term. Modern Indians probably don't even know what it means. Malecha means one who doesn't take his morning bath. Malecha means one who does not take bath after passing stool and doesn't wash himself. So you can see the biggest part of the world now is Malecha. And I think only in Asia they use water for their backside and take a bath. And only in ISKCON, the pujaris they follow, we all follow that. So we fall out of the Malecha group. But otherwise, even though you're an Indian, if you don't wash yourself, you consider to be a Malecha, right? So my father was, whatever he was very fierce in that sense. You know, he told me once, many times he used to say, these Britishers, they pass stool, and they don't take bath, and they go to comment on the Vedas. One who doesn't bathe, how can he comment on the Vedas? My father was like that. I still laugh at the way he would react, you know. If you speak it in Hindi, it is even more, you know, you keep laughing the whole day. Anyway, my father used to say, then I understood what means malicha. Malicha, malicha. And sometimes as a kid, you know, we used to eat, and then the sweet taste would be in the mouth. And my grandmother was always like, wash your hand and rinse your mouth. No, because it's nice taste. You say malicha. You know, we were little kids, so we didn't care much for that. Till we had to go to the dentist, then, you know, you had to pay. Yeah, grandmother was right, you know. So then coming to ISKCON, you know, yeah, Prabhupada like a grandmother, you know. You have to brush your teeth and take bath. Hey, it sounds like my grandma. Anyway, so that is Kalki. He comes to destroy not the Kshatriyas, because there will be no Kshatriyas at the end of Kali Yuga. Only Malecha kings, right? So Mlecha nivaha nidhane karalesi karavalam. Very, very fierce he will be. Dhumaketum ivakim api karalam. He will be like a comet. You know, when you see a star, like a shooting star, or a comet coming to the planet Earth and blasting, you know, and then all dinosaurs have died, it will be like that. When Kalki rides his horse and he cuts everyone to pieces, it's like a comet pass by. You know, like when you have fireworks on Happy New Year's Day, Kalki will be driving like that, not like killing one or two. No, he'll be like that, you know, fiercer than an atom bomb or something like that, just to kill. He will not give any chance for you to discussion. What if, but this, and but no buts. You had enough buts. 10,000 years, Bhaktivedanta Swami, I sent for you. You didn't listen for 10,000 years. Now you see my sword. That is Kalki. No discussion. Finish. We have to clean. He's going to plow the field. All humanity will be destroyed. Then Ashwathama, he will be called. He will be blessed again. Okay, you did something bad during the Mahabharata period. You took your jewel. But now you have to restart the human race. And by his fragrance of his body, of Kalki, the sandalwood fragrance, it creates so much pranic energy that all the trees, they get a lot of source of energy that they become as big as in Satyuga. Big trees, humans become big again. Life starts again. After a winter, life starts again. That's what he's going to do. So he's really protecting, he's really regenerating. He's the best fertilizer you've ever seen. You know, best fertilizer. You know what's fertilizer? you try to, like organic, you know, you like to grow your vegetables. Kalki, he just breathes and everything grows huge, you know. Your cabbages, your trees, your plants, animals, everything is happy again. All water is pure, and the earth is put in the right shape again. Everything is happy, Satyuga starts again. That's what...
Immediately, or there will be a gap?
According to what the Kalki Puran says, it is immediately. He can do things immediately, right? That the earth might be able to take it or not, that's something else, because earth is a lady. And you know who's the wife of Kalki? Who he's going to marry? Anybody knows? It's a very nice thing, you know. We ISKCON devotees never are aware of this, but there's an avatar of Durga called Vaishno Devi. And she did a tapasya way back in Satyuga. She was created by the combination of Kali, Saraswati, and Durga. Yes, these three. No. Saraswati, Kali. Who am I missing here? These three pindis. Who are these? Lakshmi, Kali, and Saraswati. Yeah, these three. Lakshmi ji, Kali, and Saraswati. They combined their energy and created a new Shakti. Because the demon to be killed was blessed that he would be killed by an entity who's not born from a womb. So these three were called by Narad and three mothers, please create a new Shakti to kill this demon. The demon got killed, but this Vaishno Devi, he fell in love with Vishnu. He wanted to get married to him. He said, no, you cannot marry now, but we can try in Treta Yuga. I'll come as Rama. So Vaishno Devi went, she does tapasya. And then she heard that Ramachandra is going to Lanka. And then he will come back. So, oh, will he visit me also? Narad benedicted. Yes, you can attain if you were like Vishnu in the form of Ram. So she did Safir Tapasya, and then Ram came to her. He said, okay, my dear Lord, you please marry me. I got the benediction. He said, listen, I still have to go to Lanka and have still to fulfill my promises. But I promise you, if I return from Lanka and go to Ayodhya, and you recognize me, then I'll accept you. Of course, Ram is cheating here, He's cheating here because he already had the vow of Ekapatni Vrat, So he was trying to little bit cheat Vaishno Devi. So when he returned, then he visited her, but he was disguised as a sadhu. And Vaishno Devi was waiting for Ram to come, and she couldn't recognize him. So she said, okay, the condition was you would recognize me, you couldn't recognize, so I'm sorry, I'm freed from your boon. And she started crying and crying. And listen, don't cry so much, you're a Shakti, you're not just an ordinary woman. I promise you, at the end of Kali Yuga, when I come as Kalki Avatar, I'll accept your hand. Definitely. So, till then, what should I do? She said. You help Vaishnavas to expand the Vaishnava mission. So if you want to have a good book score, you can go to Vaishnava Devi. It's not very easy. If you go by foot, it takes you 1,850 meters you have to climb. The whole thing takes about 11 hours. I did it once. It took me 11 hours just to climb and go down. And you're completely exhausted. Then you go to your room and you fall. Tired. But you have Vaishnava Devi's darshan. And she's still there, waiting for Kalki Avatar to come. Then she will marry with Kalki Avatar. Nice, huh? So that's a form of Vaishnavi, of Shakti, who wanted to have a Vishnu as his husband. And he will get. Kalki will marry her. But she's doing all the service now. She's expanding Vaishnava Dharma. The way she is doing it, it's in her own way. And she's very much actually our protectors also. ISKCON can take Vaishnav Devi as her helper, like that. So, I'm getting over time here. I think I should end here with the Kalki Avatar. Any questions? No? Any comments? This is all Virat form, all the forms of Vishnu are contained in the universal form. Granth Raj Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol.
Annoying.